There are about 20 of us in this room. One of us is going to deal with this issue very, very, very heavily. Do you know what it is? The issue that I'm talking about is credit card fraud. My name's David Vasquez, and I'm going to go ahead and let you know how I dealt with this situation firsthand. I was with my mom, and she opened a line of credit, and she also opened a personal loan. The only issue is that she didn't do any of that. We were at home. We were just watching a TV show when she received an alert from her bank that she did all that. We went ahead, we canceled all transactions, we called the credit union, and that was that. It sounds a lot simpler, right? Well, there's about $35 billion that are stolen every year. Imagine that. We weren't part of that statistic. We were part of the statistic that survived that. But if it wasn't for our bank limits, I'm going to inform you what would have happened. We would have lost our money. This is almost a 50-year-old scam. Credit cards haven't been around for a long time, but it only started really taking up pace in the 1970s till now. Now everyone here uses a credit card for everything. Let's be real, both directly and indirectly. What I'm going to explain to you is how it happens and what you can do to prevent it. When talking about credit card fraud, we need to truly understand what it is. So you just go ahead and ask, what is credit card fraud? Credit card fraud is the idea of you using someone else's information, specifically through credit card information, to buy property, make money, or even get even more information to do something even more nefarious. Now, it can happen at the smallest level, but it can also happen at the massive, massive corporate level. It can range from $1, but it can also go all the way to millions and millions of dollars. And when I say millions, that's pretty small because the big number is $35 billion get stolen in credit card fraud. And that doesn't scare you, right? It's a simple statistic. It should scare you. If that wasn't enough, let's say you don't dispose of your statement correctly. Someone that dumpster dives, they can find your information. Now, it's a little bit harder, but they can find your credit card info. They know your name. They know your address. If you didn't dispose of it correctly, they know your name, they know your address, they know where you frequent, they know what you buy at certain days. It's a little bit scary now thinking about it. Now someone knows exactly what you do. You go ahead and you think about it even more. In this modern day and age, it's not that hard to reverse look up someone. You just need their name and their address. Shift Credit Card Processing Company says identity theft is the #1 statistically ranked popular fraud. Identity, it's the most popular form of identity theft, credit card fraud. Now, not every fraudster will go as far as like looking for you, but some will. What can I do? That's a question, but Kevin Bigelow has somewhat of an answer. He's the author of the Workbook for Financial Exploitation, and he is an identity theft investigator. So you would just have to somehow narrow everything down. That's all he says. So who you give your credit card to, and what are recurring purchases such as Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, Uber Eats, Grubhub, things that your bank wouldn't think twice about just going ahead and clearing. Now, if you're making multiple purchases at a single time, then you're dealing with credit card fraud if those purchases aren't yours. In the case study of CyberSource versus Retail Decisions, CyberSource received multiple purchases from one card, from one IP address, which is one person basically. And then within the next few minutes, they received from the same IP address a different card. It would be unusual if it was a company, but that was one person doing that. I can only assume that the card was canceled, so he went ahead and he bought more with a different card. But it's all quite simple to really go around. Like, all you have to do really is call your bank, they'll cancel the purchases, then call your credit union, mine is personally TransUnion, and they'll figure it out and they'll do it for you. You'll be put on watch. Lastly, I believe the simplest way to really solve this issue, and it's the one with the least amount of effort, it's just prevent it. All you have to do is prevent it. Credit card fraud is not a simple thing to deal with. So what you're gonna want to do is simply just grab your statement every month, check it out, highlight whatever is yours and not yours, and as soon as you're done, if it's all clear, properly dispose of it. That's a soothing sound of protection for $30. All right, if you don't want to do that, you can always go ahead and purchase LifeLock, which is $20 a month. Granted, you can also do with all the major credit unions or credit bureaus, TransUnion, Experian, Equifax, and they'll all go ahead and check it once for free every year. So if you time it correctly, once every 3 months, you can go ahead and speak with a credit union. And it's simple, just know what you're doing. Speak with your local branches. They'll go ahead and they'll take care of you. All right, to conclude, this is what credit card fraud is and how to both solve it, prevent it, and what to do if it happens to you. All you have to do is know what it is. Know what happens when you're dealing with it. And why deal with it in the first place if you can prevent it? Now I'm going to take the time and I'm going to call my personal credit bureau, which is TransUnion, because why not? The worst that can happen is they tell me I just have college loans. The best thing that can happen is they go ahead and they tell me there's something wrong and I just do exactly what I said right here. Thank you very much.